Hallo und willkommen zu Lonestar. Wir spielen Agathe Christie, Hercule Poirot, The First Cases. Wir reden gerade mit Arch. Und ja, was fragen wir ihn denn jetzt als erstes? Vielleicht sagen wir zuerst mal was. When you returned to the study last night, did you notice anything different from our previous visit?
Nothing. But I was so preoccupied with the Major. Sorry, Detective. Should I have?
Perhaps it was just my mind playing games again.
Maybe one of the guests got lost and wandered in.
If a guest had taken a wrong turn, finding themselves in the Major's bedroom first, I'm sure they would not have proceeded through the next door, unless they were not lost at all. Who had access to the safe in the Major's study?
Master Hagen had a key, obviously, and Lady Bosch.
Und der Arch soll auch einen haben. Monsieur Demir was quite sure Archibald also had a copy of the key. It is not something one would easily forget. Regarding access to the safe, have you seen its contents before?
When requested, aye. If something is required from there when Master Hagen is not around.
Forgive me. If he is not around, how is it you access this safe?
It's not what you think, Detective.
What I think is that you have been trusted with a copy of the key, and you have lied to me about it.
I only lied because of the trouble I can get into with Lady Bosch.
At this moment, monsieur, you should be more worried about the trouble you shall find yourself in with the law.
The law.
I know how it will sound, but I lost my key. I must have set it down somewhere, and it has been tidied away. Master Hagen asked so rarely for me to go in the safe, I didn't think it would be missed.
Monsieur Sterling's story of his lost key strikes me as rather coincidental. The Major's safe is broken into with documents ransacked, and letters involving Madame Bosch's secret left out. It is a crime with no apparent purpose. There is a matter regarding the Comtesse that we must discuss.
I should have said this morning. I'm sorry.
Monsieur, I am not quite sure you understand the severity of what has happened.
I am well aware, Detective. I just thought she would be able to help.
Would you allow a man with a smoking gun to remove his bullet from a victim's chest?
I suppose not.
I understand that Monsieur Sterling was only trying to help, but surely he must have seen what it could do for the integrity of my investigation. I'd like to search the guests' bedrooms.
Is that really necessary?
Oh yes.
The murderer remains at large, and there is still no sign of the weapon. I would say that makes them essential.
Of course. I still just cannot imagine any of them being guilty of his murder.
It may be hard to imagine, but it is the truth. I would like to begin my searches now. Since it is closest, I will start with the west wing.
I may not be back when you return. Here is the key to the other rooms. Please return it when you're done.
Merci. I shall guard it with my life.
First, let us pay the Comtesse a visit. Search the guest rooms for evidence of possible collusion. Before I can accuse anyone of a crime, I must be sure if they were working alone or with another. This is a perfect opportunity to find evidence of any collusion and look for the murder weapon. Key to the East Wing rooms. Once I have completed my search of the guest rooms, I should return this to Archibald. Archibald allowed Margot to check the body. I can't believe Archibald would allow this to happen. The crime scene and the body are now tainted. Cassandra van den Bosch. Diese Verbindungen kennen wir alle schon. Ja, da wurde nicht der... Ah, hier, der Major ist Angelines Vater. Ist hier. Neu dazu. Da sind die Saints. Waren es vielleicht am Schluss alle Saints, die ihn loswerden wollten? Aber warum?
Entrez?
The Comtesse room. It would be rude not to address her before searching her room. Ja, aber wir können es vielleicht trotzdem machen und rude sein. Ach komm.
Detektiv, what a pleasure. I did not expect to see you in my chambers.
In a purely professional capacity, I can assure you.
There is no need to act so stiff, Detective.
Madame, after the revelation of your actions last night, I'm afraid my sense of humor is all but gone.
I will not apologize again for merely trying to help. Shall we get straight to it then? Let us not waste your time any further, Detective.
I saw you conversing with one of the young servants yesterday.
That would be Inge. She has been one of the most promising young women that has come from the shelter.
Madame Vandenbosch took in a young lady from your shelter.
There is no need to sound so surprised, Detective. She does have a heart.
I did not mean to sound so cruel. I just did not expect Madame to hire someone of that background after the incident with her previous maid, Florette.
People change, Detective. You should not judge someone on their past actions.
Believe me, Countess, I know that only too well.
I commend you on your dedication with the women you help. It is most honorable.
Be careful, Detective. That almost sounded like a compliment.
It is your actions in this house that have been questionable, Madame. Your work outside is something that many more could take note of.
We do what we can.
Have you been able to find many of the girls from the shelter work?
We wouldn't be doing a very good job if I could only help one girl. I in fact found work for one of them as a maid in Monsieur da Silva's house recently.
She has fitted into Monsieur's home well.
What is better, Detective? That she remained in an abusive house, or she is able to rebuild her life with an honest wage in a prosperous house?
When put like that, is she happy in her position?
The happiest she has been in years. I check in with them all as often as possible. And if there was a problem, I would know.
I am glad to hear that more girls are building a better future for themselves. It is with help from the Comtesse that it has been able to happen.
Merci, Madame.
Ja, aber wenn sie da Zugriff zu mehreren von diesen Häusern hat über diese Mädchen, vielleicht, hat sie doch irgendwie ein falsches Spiel. Tja, wir haben sie jetzt gar nicht angesprochen, dass wir jetzt alles durchgucken wollen. Gramophone Player. The wonders of modern technology. What a joy it must be to have music in one's home. Koffer, Bücher, Buch. Perhaps the happy couple's engagement has someone in a particularly romantic mood. Romance Novel. Okay. Können wir wieder aus dem Fenster schauen. Pflanze. Plants lean and rely on each other to survive. Something we as a species could take a lesson from.
Oh.
Da fällt der Schnee. Margot helped Ernesto find a maid. Margot offered the services of the women's shelter in finding a new maid for his staff. Margot helped Inge get hired. Margot found Inge the position at the house. Her friendship with Cassandra surely helped. Margot works at the women's shelter. She is very proud of her role. Package. Perhaps a present for the family as a thank you for their hospitality. First aid kit. A first aid kit full of medical equipment, bandages, plasters, antiseptics and a pair of scissors. Und vielleicht einem Skalpell, das fehlt. First aid kit. A first aid kit full of medical equipment. Das haben wir gerade. Wir sollen nochmal mit ihr reden. Das ist nochmal eine neue mögliche Mörderwaffe. Wo haben wir sie denn? Hier. First Aid Kit. Nochmal eine Uhr. Ich glaube, die stehen immer auf 7 nach 11. Dann schauen wir nochmal ins Feuer.
Oh.
Noch ein Klavier, also so viele Klaviere und Flügel, wie es in dem Haus gibt. The chance to play is very tempting. Aber wir wollen nicht. Was haben wir hier auf dem Schreibtisch? Ja, ich glaube, dann haben wir alles. Diesmal nichts mit dem Poker. Nein, das nicht. Da hinten gibt's nichts.
Go ahead, Detektiv.
Perhaps I was a little rushed with my response to you examining the major's bodies.
A compliment and now an apology. Well, Detective,
Oder war es
you
Rash?
certainly have changed your tune.
Rash? Rush?
There was something I was still unsure of. You mentioned that your training was some years ago.
From my days as a nurse, oui.
If that is so, why would you have brought several pieces of equipment usually found in a physician's bag?
One must always be prepared, Detective.
Be prepared.
Prepared? At an engagement celebration?
If I had not brought them, I would not have been able to assist you last night. Perhaps you should be thankful for my precaution and not so suspicious.
And had she not brought them at all, I would not have to ask such a question.
Merci, madame.
Margot came prepared. Margot claims she was merely prepared. It must be quite a task carrying around all that equipment. Naja, ist eine Päckchen da. The ever-guarded Jacqueline Conrad. It is time I should question her on her conversation with the Major before searching her room.
Detective, what can I do for you?
Mademoiselle, I am sure you understand my reasoning for such intrusion.
If it's going to clear my name, be my guest.
If you wouldn't mind answering some questions, it can hopefully be cleared faster.
I'd like to start with your relationship with the Major.
Like I said, he's not the man he wants everyone to think he is.
Oui, but how is it you came to that conclusion?
You don't really want me to recount every conversation I've had with him, do you?
There is one particular I had in mind.
Tell me about your argument.
An argument would imply it was a two-way conversation.
And that is not how it was?
Here it is. I've been helping Angeline get exposure, her marriage to Gideon is big news, and his work is really paving the way for others. I saw the chance to get their names out there, and he didn't like it.
What was there not to like?
Your guess is as good as mine, Detective. But if I had to, I'd say he was jealous it wasn't his name at the top of the article.
And his reason to storm off?
Oh, you know about that. Let's just say I didn't accept his pathetic attempt to get me to stop the story. If you're gonna try and pay someone off, at least make it worth their while.
I thought the Major would only be supportive of Mademoiselle Angeline. There must be more to why he would not want her success to be known. I'm sure you have grown weary of this subject, but Monsieur Beckers...
You've really got a fascination with that guy, huh?
I would not say fascination. An interest, perhaps.
Well, I'll save you the bother of trying to find out more about him. He's not that interesting. In fact, he's a bit of a wimp if you ask me.
That is not the impression I got of him.
That's because you've only seen the side of him he wants you to. He knows what to say in front of the right people. But behind closed doors, he's clueless.
Clueless? In what way?
Let me guess. The first thing he told you was that he was a union leader. No, the voice of the people.
A man that is proud of his work is not something to be sneered at.
Don't get me wrong, he has a way with words, and he can certainly rally a crowd. But that's about it. At the end of the day, he's a representative and nothing more. He's got to play the part, not just learn the lines.
Mademoiselle does not think particularly high of Monsieur Beckers. She is a strong, independent woman, but to use the term wimp is an unnecessary attack on his character.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax.
Sure thing, detective. And if you change your mind on that exclusive about that shooting...
If I do change it, you shall be the first to know.
Also. Das Bett ist schon mal ein bisschen langweiliger als das andere. Noch ein Grammophon-Player. Newspaper. Among them a recent article by Jackie Conrad about the riots linked to Ernestos factory. Peaceful strikes turn to loss of lives as violence breaks out on frontline, following the tragic events in the city that has darkened the spirits of the people and brought to a screeching halt the rising defiance of the working class. That the area has been cordoned off and police presence at the scene has increased. Factory security forces have been asked to step down and the powers handed over to law enforcement services. Workers laid down their tools, switched off all machinery and stood together shoulder to shoulder as the fight for fair pay and conditions raged on. What started as peaceful protests by those employed at the factories has turned into a battle of class, with support for the workers coming in from all over the city. Also, reports have not been confirmed. Sources state that violence broke out following a second wave surge of supporters. Official numbers have not been published, but it is believed as many as 8 workers have lost their lives in the fighting. The workers' frontline has been considered as a representative of the people and working class of Belgium that now refuse to work in such demanding conditions for such a demeaning and insufficient wage. Chief Commissioner LaRoche has confirmed that the outbreak of violence and resulting civilian deaths are being investigated and an official statement is to be made in the coming days. Jacqueline Conrad. Cupboard. Nothing. Oben ist noch was, aber können wir auch nicht angucken. Pocket Knife. Aha, aha.
Oh.
I presume this belongs to Jackie. Chasing a good story may lead her into some precarious scenarios. Pocket Knife. Stack of newspapers, among them a recent article by Jackie Conrad about the riots linked to Ernestos factory. Wir sollen nochmal mit ihr reden. The Major tried to pay Jackie off. Blackmail seems to be a common theme among the upper class. Jackie wasn't keen on Felix's offer. Und ein Pocket Knife. Wir können mal wieder ins Feuer starren.
Ah,
Männer, die in Feuer starren. So, da sind ein paar Kleider, die da aufgehängt sind. Eine Schreibmaschine. Cluttered Workstation. Da arbeitet sie wohl.
oh.
Jackie has set up a makeshift office in her room. She must bring her work with her everywhere. Mr. Attic spotted leaving the Velvet Tickle Friday at 11:15. Cumbra House has been poaching off neighboring land. Boar, deer and duck. Maggie to follow up. Miss Bonte found her husband in their marital bed with a young maidservant. Testament from maid needed. Mr. Denord overheard in the cackling crow speaking poorly of King Leopold. He said questionable ideas. We say doubtful, skeptical, shady. Notes from Francis by Monday. Können wir hier auch aus dem Fenster schauen?
Ah,
Da haben wir noch eine Tasche. Pflanze. Bett. Nichts Vernünftiges. Jackies notebook. She seems to have made a good name for herself.
Go right ahead, Detective.
I was surprised to learn Monsieur de Silva and the Major work together.
All Felix cared about was money and filling his pockets with it. That's why he got into bed with De Silva.
the Major was not in need of money, though.
Need and want are two very different things. Did he need to move here and leech off the Madame? No, but he wanted to.
Tell me your opinion of their work together.
As far as I know, De Silva hired him to work security. He was worried what could happen to his precious factories if things got ugly.
And your reporters were there to cover the story when it did turn that way.
My reporters go where there is news to be told.
And you predicted the violence that occurred?
Anyone could see that was gonna happen. If you ask me, Hugo should have acted sooner.
Merci, mademoiselle. I shall leave you to relax.
Jackie thinks Hugo was slow to react. Jackie doesn't rate Hugo much. She believes he could have acted sooner regarding the riots. The Major only cared about the money. The Major only cared about money. Jackie claims the Major only focused on money and didn't care about much else. Ich hoffe, wir haben nichts übersehen. Here we are in Mademoiselle Angeline and Gideon's room. I wonder what we shall find. Gideon's room is pristine.
Ah,
I could have mistaken it for my own. Alles total akkurat, aber das Buch liegt so aufgeschlagen dran, so geht der Buchrücken kaputt. Das würde Poirot nie machen. Und die Koffer stehen auch nicht parallel nebeneinander. Ich glaube, das könnt ihr auch nicht aushalten. Und die Schubladen sind offen, also so pristine ist es auch nicht. Das Klavier ist auch offen und schon wieder ein Klavier, das gibt's doch gar nicht. Da ist nichts dran. Photograph. It seems they used to be closer. Perhaps their recent behavior was merely a facade. Could it be possible that Gideon collaborated with Zack? Nochmal Feuer. Eine Uhr. Eine Dose? Aber aus dem Fenster können wir schauen.
Aha.
Und hier gibt es wieder was zu trinken in dem Globus.
Aha.
Seltsam. Photo of Gideon and Zack. It seems they used to be closer. Perhaps their recent behavior was merely a facade. Could it be possible that Gideon collaborated with Zack? Das hatten wir schon. Ich glaube, dann haben wir sonst nichts. Kann das sein? Aber sind wir jetzt irgendwie einen Schritt weiter gekommen? With all of the west guest rooms searched, I should make my way to the guest rooms on the east of the first floor. There must be evidence of collusion somewhere. The major study. Schauen wir nochmal. Vielleicht hat sich hier irgendwas getan.
Huh.
There does not seem to be anything of interest in here. Scrap paper. Nix. Nee. Haben wir alles. Storeroom wollen wir nicht. Telescope haben wir schon durchgeschaut. Da haben wir auch geguckt. Dann müssen wir in den Osten. Inge. Wir könnten mit Inge noch reden. Aber ich würde sagen, das machen wir nicht mehr heute. Machen wir an dieser Stelle lieber erstmal ein kleines Päuschen. Und ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal.